This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. He is centered. He's ready to go. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and our EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Oh, how you doing? How you feeling?
A lot better than Michael Dieter.
Yeah, man. Sucks. He's going to be out. So is it Manzik? Is that how it's pronounced? Is Manzik the man?
Mance? I don't know.
Mance?
I don't know how it's pronounced.
Okay.
Joe Shad is usually our pronunciation guy around here, but that's a good question. He's going to be rocking for at least the next 4 weeks. It'll be interesting to see whether or not this is longer. Flores will not specify. If it's a foot injury, you have to think it's going to be longer. Foots usually take about 6 weeks to heal. The thing about this is that, Mance is a veteran starter. I believe he started 28 games. So there's the potential that you could be enhancing your unit because you're not exactly going to a young, inexperienced player. You're going to a stopgap, which is pretty much why Dieter actually got the job. They didn't want to go that route. And I think Dieter had been playing okay, but let's not act like he wasn't. He was a star or shining.
But he wasn't like a sore spot either. So I got to give him. I mean, listen, this is a new position for the kid. So
yes.
I got a guy that hasn't played a lot in the first years.
It was okay, just like everybody else on their offensive line. I mean, I was very interested to hear that Flores was kind of critical about Robert Hunt, who I think had probably been the most consistent player on the offensive line. But he talked about consistency. We got to get consistency, and clearly that's something that's should be a priority for the entire unit. Consistency. The one thing I've learned, that everybody knows, I love and I'm obsessed with trench play, and the one thing I've learned about trench play is, Joey Porter taught me you could be a Pro Bowler with 3 wins a game. We're not talking stalemates. We're talking about 3 clear-cut wins dominant. He said, you get 3 wins a game, that's a tackle for loss, that's a sack, that's a forced fumble, that's a big third down stop. You get 3 wins per game, you're going to be at the Pro Bowl. Now flip it on the other side. You can't have 3 losses on the offensive line. Right. Like one bad play, and the worst offensive lineman I've seen down here was actually Mark Colombo, but outside of Mark Colombo, who is now a supposedly ridiculously good offensive line coach, it was Dallas Thomas. And Dallas Thomas would be okay to borderline decent for 50 plays a game. But then there were 5 plays, and you don't know when they were coming. You don't know what down they were coming.
Usually they came in bad moments, actually.
You don't know what drive it was. But there were going to be 5 disasters. And those 5 disasters cost you a game. And, and he's right. There are instances where it's 2 plays to Jesse Davis. It's 3 plays to Robert Hunt. It's 5 plays to Austin Jackson. It's, 3 plays to Liam Eichenberg. And you add that all up, you've got basically offensive line ruining about 15 to 20 plays a game. And, you can't play like that.
No. They definitely have to improve. Now, they were a little better this week. So now we will see if somehow they can get better again this week against a Colts team.
Without a new starter, and now I believe I heard a stat that the Dolphins had the most offensive line changes since I didn't get the during
10,000. I want to say it's 2010. I think.
Yeah,
I
wasn't surprised.
No,
but it was kind of disappointing to know and hear and see. But
so you've been on fire this week. I guess going after Greer and Flo, and not happy with the results right now. Are you at a point where you think changes need to be made?
I'm at a point where I think if they lose to the Colts on Sunday, I know what it is because I've been here for 14 years. It becomes finger pointing time. It becomes, our O-line is crappy because coaches aren't getting it done. Oh, no, our O-line is crappy because the personnel department, they got us crappy players. No, why are we getting big plays from our receivers? When you lose to the Colts, and then let's assume we're going into Tampa and you take an L there, and then you start the year 1-4, and you're in that pit of mediocre teams. You got to answer some tough questions to Steve Ross. And that's when the finger pointing and the bickering and the cut eyes begin. And that's usually I've seen it happen so many times here. That's usually the demise of an organization. And people start jockeying. So to relieve some of that pressure, as I wrote in a column yesterday in Centeno, got to beat the Colts. Got to beat the Colts. I'm not going to say this is a must-win game because Flores teams have started worse and have rebounded.
Yeah. Although I think it is a must-win period this week and 2 weeks from now against the Jags, because those are the games that you lose.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, you're going to go, we didn't make the playoffs because we lost that game and that game.
Yeah.
And the Colts and the Jags are the two games that could cost you. That will cost you a playoff spot, by the way. That'll be my prediction. If you lose those games, I guarantee you at the end of the year, you're going to be sitting there with 8 or 9 wins, and you're going to go, well, wait a minute, dude. We could have had 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. Where was it? Colts, Jags.
You're so, just like last year, it was Denver and some other game. I forget.
Yeah, but Denver's got a badass defense at least.
They did.
You know
they did.
At least but there's nothing badass about the culture of the Jags.
You needed that game, though.
Special teams, there's nothing badass about them. You know what I'm saying? At least with Denver, they can kick your ass on any given Sunday. That defense can turn you over, cause havoc, and make life a little easier for their offense. Something that Miami isn't doing right now, that their defense isn't making it any easier on their struggling offense. You know what I'm saying? So at least with Denver, there's a factor of that team that I gotta respect, and that's that defense.
Yeah, I mean, but think about it. The Colts were a playoff team last year, and they were injury. They've been injury depleted, no question about it.
Yeah,
I doubt they'll have 5 starters, and Carson Wentz is playing on 0 good ankles, and Quentin Nelson, who I believe is a top 20 player in this league, isn't going to be on the field.
Right there, that's where I'm going to tell you that. When we looked at the Colts the last couple of years, the only thing that you really looked at that you said, holy shit, it's that offensive line.
Yeah.
That offensive line was the difference maker. That after they lost their quarterback to retirement, they went and built the damn line. And it's like, okay, that really helps.
No, they built that line before the quarterback went to retirement, though. No.
They started, but they weren't anywhere near
when
finished. When they had Andrew Luck, he was still getting killed.
Better than this?
Huh?
That was better than this.
I know, but they didn't have Quentin Nelson when they had Andrew
Luck. Did. Quentin Nelson played with Andrew Luck.
Was he like a rookie or something? Like
no, he played. Year? I think he played. Maybe I would because Quentin Nelson's on his like 5th, 6th year. I don't have it in front of me, but look up how many.
Luck's been retired. Like 4 at least?
Andrew Luck retired 3 years ago because Brissett's on his 3rd year since Andrew Luck retired. So, Andrew Luck retired 3 years.
He was there 3 years, right?
No, he was there 3 years, but he played 1 with Luck. He did a 2-year extension.
That's right.
So the 2 years he finished that deal, and it's funny how I count things. And then he here with Miami. So Andrew Luck retired 3 years ago. So Quentin Nelson definitely played with him.
Yeah, but they didn't have the line that they had, and actually that line's lost a little now.
Yeah,
with Gonzo retiring and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not as good as they have been in the past. But I'm telling you, you got to win these next 2 games between the Jags and the Colts. They have to be W's because you're losing to Tampa. So at least if you're 3-3 with 11 games left, you've left the door open for you to go to the playoffs, and you get Tua back at that point, right?
Yep, absolutely. No question about it. I didn't even think about it. I thought Tampa was next. I usually take a one game at a time approach, but it's Jacksonville next. And yeah,
No. Tampa is next. You're right.
Okay,
No,
Tampa is next. All right.
Tampa's next, but that's a loss. But I'm saying 2 out of the next 3.
How you know that's a loss? How you know?
That's a loss.
Man, COVID could run rampant in Tampa right now.
Well, that's different. Okay, I'm not counting on COVID. Of course,
I think they could beat Tampa. This team hasn't come close to playing at their full capabilities. And I'm not saying that they're going to start. No, I'm not saying that. Like
they won't have Tua for that game. So,
Jacoby, listen. All right, I'm not going to cape for Jacoby. Jacoby can get it done. Jacoby is better than Brock Osweiler, and you won games with Brock Osweiler.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, I'm not willing to say he's better than that more.
That's even an insult to Jacoby Brissett. You know what I'm saying?
He's better than Chad Henne. How do you feel about that one? Like,
God,
we've had some mediocre quarterbacks, man.
Yes,
it's time. It's time.
Yeah, yes. This weekend, is it Brissett having to kind of balance his emotions a little bit here in this one?
He claims it's not a revenge game. Okay.
They can claim whatever the hell they want. Yeah. Tom Brady also thinks it's just another game going to Foxborough.
Absolutely, no question.
When he wants to light those sumbitches up for 10 more touchdowns, he'd love to walk out of that game 60-0. That would excite him, okay?
And you don't think Todd Bowles is telling the defense, let's do this for Tom Brady? I love revenge games. I don't understand why players downplay it. And
let me tell you something. Todd Bowles doesn't have to do jack shit. You know why? They all have a ring because of that dude last year. Those guys will all go through walls for that guy. That guy's already won everybody in that organization over. Every single player will do anything they possibly can to win that game for Tom. There's no doubt in my mind. Not only is it Tom, I think that whole team will be motivated for Tom. Plus, all those guys have probably already lost to Belichick several times, and this is their time.
Oh, God.
They
look so mediocre right now. It's like and people they're probably gonna take this clip. Like I've been saying for years that it's Brady. It's not Belichick. It's Brady. And now people finally recognize it and see it. Yes, Belichick is a Hall of Fame coach. He's gonna game plan and scheme you to death. But you know what? It makes it so much easier when you have a quarterback you could give the ball with 2 minutes left, and he's
ultimately
2 minutes left, no timeout, and he's going to go score a touchdown. Makes it so much easier when you have a quarterback who throws guys open and doesn't allow pressure from your offensive line. Who could read a defense and just instantly snap his finger and the balls to an open man. It makes it so much easier. Put some respect on Tom Brady's name and take a little bit of gloss off that Bill Belichick, because he hasn't proven that he can win without Tom Brady.
Dude, he made Dion an MVP in a Super Bowl. He goes and gets a big ass contract from Seattle, and he couldn't do jack in Seattle, and then he comes back and actually plays well again in New England. And it's because of Tom Brady, bro. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He's the ultimate eraser. That's what he's been, and he makes Oompa Loompas like good receivers. That's the other thing that they did to him for many years. It's like he's looking around going, "Oh, I'm taking a pay cut, and you're not spending any money here. What the hell's going on?" And look, he goes to Tampa, and they give him everything he wants, dude. Look at the receiving core he has. We can talk about Moss and Welker. What he has now is way better, actually.
That's what I want, Big O. That's what I want. That's where my heart is right now. I want an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady situation here. I'm tired. I'm tired, Big O.
Well, I saw you retweeted Josina Anderson's tweets.
Yes, I think Josina is probably the person who has the most direct contact with Deshaun Watson. I know that.
I agree. But what came out of that was this ain't done by November 2nd. They're not doing. They're not getting through all of
Hold on.
the civil
No,
and
no,
the
no, 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 no.
criminal in a month.
Yeah. That is not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. It might be here for a year, for two. This is civil. I've always said and felt this is civil. This isn't jail time arrest.
But we don't know that. But still, the criminal investigation is still going on. So
fool.
until
If they have enough to put charges on you, trust me, they're gonna put charges on you.
Well, I know that, but they haven't yet, and so we have to wait. We don't know. We don't have all the info.
Okay. My biggest concern about the whole Deshaun Watson thing, and understand, Deshaun Watson, to me, I like him, but he's option B. I told you option A. Like
Rodgers?
Why wouldn't I want to give Aaron Rodgers a Tom Brady situation? And let him pick his team.
I get it. I'm not. Listen,
where else is he going to play?
In a way, I'd rather go with 2 years of Rodgers than the baggage of Watson.
Exactly.
And I still believe, Omar, that the league will step in the second they try to trade him, and they'll say, no, we're not going to have that right now.
I think if the league was going to step in, the league would have stepped in and put him on the suspended list already. I think the league
but they don't have to because they've already put him on the kibosh already.
Well, it would have been smart for them to put him on the suspended list now.
The NFL doesn't have to get involved right now.
Yeah.
Why get involved when you don't have to? Is what I'm saying.
He's getting his paycheck. The league has stepped in before without any criminal prosecution on multiple occasions.
You're right.
Why didn't they do that on this one?
Because he's not playing, Omar, because they've got him on ice.
It doesn't matter. He's still collecting his paycheck. He's still embarrassing the league.
That doesn't affect
everybody's still talking about it. The league cares about embarrassment. They don't care about right or wrong.
Trading a guy that could be facing criminal charges would be embarrassing.
You're already letting him
right now, leaving him on ice and the Houston Texans paying him doesn't affect the league, doggy. Houston pays him because it's a commodity that they haven't unloaded, so they have to pay him in.
So you think the minute they unload him is when the NFL is going to punish?
Yeah, no, not punish. Just the commissioners list. They'll say no. You guys can trade him after the legal issues are done. But for now, I don't think they'll allow.
No, they would have done that already. Trust me, they would have done. These owners talk on an owner level.
So let's do this.
I think Steve Ross, and this is just speculation.
$50 of stakes on the line.
He gets traded. He gets traded. You say he gets traded, and
there's no shot he gets traded this year. No shot.
No.
By November 2nd, there's zero chance he gets traded because the legal issues aren't done. The league will not allow it. I will bet you $50 on stakes on that.
I don't know if I'm willing. I don't know if I'm willing. One, I think Miami is the only team in the game. And I feel like this is a Josh Rosen situation where people are trying to have them bid against themselves. I think you just stand friggin' firm and you say, this is what's on the table, as they had done previously. It ain't changing, whether you will. And now stories coming out, and I don't doubt the stories because I know exactly they're coming from the most reputable NFL reporter out there. And it's like, now the Houston Texans too is hurting. The Houston Texans are willing to budge off their offer. Okay, cool. Then you call me and you make me an offer. And now it's 3 1s and 3 3s instead of 3 1s and 3 2s. Like, I would do 3 1s and 3 3s, but I would also do conditions on jail time and arrests, which
that's where I'm telling you, the NFL is not going to allow that.
I mean, no. But let's say I put conditions on.
Think about that there.
No. Let's say I put conditions on
based on arrest.
I could put conditions on the future picks based on how many starts he has in 2021.
Well, starts is different. Arrests,
but that's a condition I can put on it. That's a condition I could put on. If he's arrested, it's not impacting any games.
The NFL won't allow it because
if he's arrested and it's not impacting any games, who cares? If he's suspended for 2021, 2022, I would put conditions on it. I would give them 1-1, 2 3s now. The rest of it is conditional on how many games you play in 2022. You could do that.
You're like a hitman. Like
Huh?
5,000 now and 5,000 now, and when I kill him, 5,000 later. You know?
Listen, Steve Ross paid 500. Steve Ross paid 550 million now, and then he paid a year later 550 million later for the
Right?
Dolphins.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
If he can make that deal happen, he can make this deal happen.
Yeah, but there's not a criminal involved here, criminal charges allegedly, involved in all of this. That's a whole different ball game, bro. That's
Listen,
why
if
I just don't
in
see.
my mind, this has already been the league's biggest embarrassment. This is a lot worse than when who's the running back who got
Ray Rice?
suspended
Ray
for
Rice?
beating his son for no
Adrian Peterson with the
Adrian,
whip.
this is worse than Adrian Peterson.
Oh yeah,
They suspended him for
but
basic.
but there was evidence there. The switch, the pictures of it all, and all that. That's why we haven't seen any evidence here. That's the thing. It's all he said, they said. And unless now that's the whole thing. We don't know if there's any incriminating phone calls, texts, pictures, videos.
That's a good yeah.
That's the part that we don't know about. There's stuff that maybe there's nothing to this case, and maybe there's something to this case. That's the damn problem with all of this. We don't have all the facts.
He's still going to be traded without all the facts and without all the. He's still going to be traded. And I'm not saying that I would do it. I would do it, but it wouldn't be my number one option. I'm waiting for Rodgers. I am.
I got you.
Where else is he going to play?
And they're going to want to trade him to the AFC.
Every California team is already taken.
Right. No, and they're not going to want to trade him in the NFC. They're going to want to trade him to the AFC.
Exactly. I'm selling myself to Aaron Rodgers right now. You bring me Rodgers, you Devontae Parker, you pick your team, it's yours. What do you want? I'm Peyton Manning the situation, like Miami full court press Peyton Manning. So
yeah, I'm
gonna wait this out. Deshaun Watson, my deal is my deal. You accept it, cool. If not, keep it moving. Because really, it's Miami and maybe let's speculate, maybe the Giants. And we all know Philadelphia is interested, but Watson's already kiboshed a trade on that one. So
yeah.
The bottom line, he wants to be here.
And they somehow are committed to Jalen Hurts. I don't know why, but whatever. They want to commit to him. Great kid, but
they see him in practice. They know. I watched him against whoever he just played. Dallas wasn't that impressed.
He hasn't convinced me ever as a passer. He's got to convince me as a passer.
He had a great. I mean, we never know. Is he better than Tua right now? I don't know.
I mean, listen. Josh Allen did what I never thought he could do. So,
yeah, absolutely, no question. I would agree with that.
I stand corrected there because I never saw that from that kid.
I had to apologize to Dennis Hickey last home game. I saw Dennis Hickey, and Dennis Hickey was like, "You're wrong on Josh Allen. You're wrong on Josh Allen. You're wrong on Josh Allen," because he's in the Bills front office.
Yeah, I know.
And I I held firm, and so he sees me and he's gloating and he's like, I was like, "You're right. You were right. Those things can be cleaned up." And I'd never seen him.
By the way, one of the best people you can deal with in this business.
Yeah, man. He got shanked.
He didn't do a bad job, actually. If you go back and look at his two drafts,
he should have no shame about anything he did here. He got shanked in the side by
the politics, like we had here for so long. That was one of the best things they've done now, is that there are no politics now. It's everybody's on the same page, at least. Whether they succeed or fail, that's a whole different ballgame. But at least they're all on the same page. Hickey was in a moment where there was always these power struggles going on, and it was just
we've had. Oh, trust me, I lived the power struggle, and I think there can potentially become a power struggle here, but that's not in Brian. That's not in Chris Greer's personality, so it won't be a power struggle. It's okay. You want power? It's yours.
He'll work with people, but here's where again, and Hickey's an example. But so is Jeff Ireland, and so is Rick Spielman. All these guys left and have done better everywhere else. All of them. All of them. Rick Spielman just can't figure out the quarterback, but no one's going to argue with me that he's built up some pretty damn good offenses and defenses over there in Minnesota.
Selected some
Okay,
pretty good talent over there too.
and Jeff Ireland is credited by everybody that you talk to around that organization and covers it. He's been the key to their success the last couple of years in the draft. And look at where Buffalo's at, and Dennis Hickey's there. And I don't give a shit what you tell me.
Their number 2 is a former Dolphins
Go
executive.
back and look at his 2 drafts. They're not that. They weren't that bad, bro. They were pretty decent.
In Buffalo. They're number 2. I can't remember his name, but he's a former Dolphin. So they're assistant GM.
My point is, we need to be patient with these guys. They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to do everything. See, history is repeating, and you're making the same mistakes.
No. I don't need to be patient because I don't like what I see. And I came into it knowing this line was crap. And you did dumb things that made it even worse. So I have to hold you accountable to that, because
that's a mistake that can be made, but that doesn't mean it can't be corrected.
You're going to correct it this season?
Well, okay, so this season you can't. You got to go to the offseason and correct it.
I'm not waiting.
Mistakes are made, bro.
You spent 3 years building this, right? If you spent 3 years building this, why am I going to trust you to fix it?
If they have a bad year this year, you can't just shit on them because they had a setback.
No. What are our expectations?
Playoffs.
I don't even have a playoffs winning season. I never had it playoffs.
Well, I had playoffs, and maybe I'm ahead of my. It's year 3. Maybe I'm unrealistic. Maybe what I deserve is this.
Blind ass fan alert! Look out, everyone! We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
Okay. Maybe that's what I deserve, because maybe I was getting ahead of myself here.
Let me break down this offseason for you, because we already know last offseason was a complete disaster, since you spent all of this offseason undoing 90% of everything that you did last offseason. Okay, let me show you why this offseason is a disaster. Your biggest moves were you signed Will Fuller, knowing that he couldn't stay healthy. Well, lo and behold, what happens? Can't stay healthy. Your second biggest move was Bernard McKinney. You cut him out of camp. You know you have offensive line issues. You need a new center. You signed Matt Skura. Never competed. You had to go out and trade for a player. You don't address the running back position. Now, a guy who had never had an opportunity to start before is your starter, Malcolm Brown. Let's move to the pass rushing. You need to beef up pass rushing. And Jalen Phillips, it's too early. It's very patient with it. We coming in here? Are we almost ready? Okay. Jalen Phillips is not a proven, polished commodity player yet, and no shame in that. But but you knew you needed pass rushing. You could have gone out and you could have signed Melvin Ingram. You chose not to. So your problems were created by you. As an organization, as an executive, Eric Flowers could have helped you. Your problems were created by you. I cannot sit here and not hold you accountable for the fact that this team has regressed instead of taking a step forward. Your job was to make this team take a step forward. You have regressed as an organization. That's on front office.
Well, that we can talk about that after 17 games have been played.
Okay.
I'm not ready to say they've regressed yet. You're already assuming that
you were the best team on third downs in the NFL. Now you're the worst. That's not regression.
But it's 3 games.
Your offensive line was shit 2 straight years and continues to be. Actually, it's even worse than it was before.
But it's 3 games.
Okay, cool. Let's.
Yeah, we're assuming everything is going to be. I'm sorry. You're assuming everything's going to be a disaster from here to the end of the season. I mean,
at no point this season have they looked good. They only have 1 win because Xavier Howard pulled it out his ass.
Okay, but they also
And
have their quarterback out the last couple of weeks.
yeah,
So
okay, cool.
I mean,
That happens to everybody. That happens to everybody. That happens to
and
everybody.
everybody doesn't bounce back with their backup quarterback.
Okay,
It's not like you don't miss a beat with your backup. You
all right,
normally
that's
miss a
fair.
lot with your backup quarterback.
That's fair, but I'm sorry. You have regressed in so many areas, and you're right. It's early. Let's judge this at midseason. Let's put a pin in this, and let's come back to it in week 9.
Yeah,
And
I got no problem with that. At least revisiting it at that point.
Week 9, if we don't have any solutions to some of these problems, then we got to sit there and we got to say, okay, this team has regressed in these areas, and it is insert person's name's fault. That's what I want.
Right, but if they have progressed, then
okay.
I want to hear you say, "Well, I think I overreacted from."
Absolutely,
the first
no question.
Okay.
I'm sure I overreacted last year when they had a bad start and then they won 5 straight games. I'm positive I did.
0-2, 10-4.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the one thing. That's the one thing I will give Flores. His teams rebound and they don't quit on him. They don't go in the tank and they develop and the game plans are good. I'm not going to sit here and say that.
Wait a minute, but if you say they don't go in the tank, you have them battling against each other if they lose this game. Then all of a sudden,
this is different. 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 This is expectations. No expectations first 2 years.
But he didn't lose the team at 0-7, dude. At 0-7, they
no. Everybody on that team was fighting for employment. But of course, you're not going to lose the team.
Omar, you've been around teams that have been 0 whatever, and they lost, and then they lost the coach.
Everybody on that team was fighting for their NFL future. If you sign Ryan Sealer,
when you're 0-7 and you're losing every week, players normally will tune your ass out.
No, not guys who are just thankful to be employed and thankful for the check. They're thankful for their $35,000 check per game.
You know that every week you're selling a game plan to a team and you lose. Those players will not follow you after a certain time. They're just
correct.
not.
Man. Which is the point we're getting to. You're right. You're right. And we got.
This guy hasn't lost anybody at any time so far.
You don't know that.
You know what I mean?
You don't know that. There are players he doesn't even have.
I'm going by track record.
Okay.
You're not. You're not.
No. You don't know that. There are players who do not like
Flores. No. I do know that because I watched it the first 2 years.
Okay.
He doesn't lose anybody through any adversity. So why would he start now to lose people in adversity when they know anybody that was there the first year, anybody that was there the first and second years, and now they're here the third year, they can look around and even tell a Jalen Phillips, say, don't worry about it, bro. Everything will get better. We always get better. Coach figures it out. That's been the track record.
It has been. And what happens when it changes?
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I just don't think
you do know Adam Gase has a better 35-game start than Brian Flores, right?
Yes, I do.
You do know every coach the Dolphins have had, except for Cam Cameron, has a better 35-game start than Brian Flores.
And you do know that they all had better talent to start off their careers than this guy did. All of them. Every one of them. Cam Cameron, Flo wishes he had Cam Cameron's defense. Wishes.
Wow. Okay. All right.
What he had on don't argue with me on this. What he had on that D line was sick compared to what they have now.
He also had a ton of injuries. He also had a ton of injuries and lost a lot of star players. But
those teams had better talent. This guy tore it all down in the first year, and he's rebuilding it
by
back
choice.
up
By choice.
That's
it was
fine.
Not by
That's
choice.
fine, but building by youth is not an easy thing.
They chose to waive and pick up 27 guys off waiver wires and start 14 of them the week that they arrived on the team. That's by choice. I do not give you any kudos or trophy for your little 5 moral little victories. No,
you end up with 5 wins, and
Ryan Fitzpatrick delivered 4 of the 5 wins. Ryan Fitzpatrick delivered 4 of the 5 wins, including the dynasty ending. I give Ryan Fitzpatrick the credit.
Wrong.
I've always been that way, and you know that. We sat here and argued for years about that. You were tanking. You were strategically trying to be bad.
tanking. They were never tanking.
God. You have no
trying to win
business.
games.
You have no business claiming Cameron Munson off the practice squad of the Patriots and starting him on Sunday's game. None. Zero.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Why not? Because
at that point you have no choice.
You're not. No. You had choices. You are competitively trying to be bad.
No.
And
when you go 5-4 at the back end, you're not trying to be bad. You're improving as the year goes on.
Oh my God! You were starting Cameron. You were starting Calvin Munson
dynasty, baby.
You were starting Calvin Munson, and the best thing that you found was Zach Sealer in all of that mediocrity, experimentation, dumb foolishness that you were doing.
What if I tell you, growing up, Flo loved the Munsters? That's why he signed Calvin Munson. Because it reminded him of the Munsters.
Bro, you know how many guys that they claimed off waiver wire or poached off a practice squad that joined the team on Wednesday and started games on Sunday?
That was Studley. That's the kind of balls I want on my coach. The guy that could get a guy off the street and beat your ass the next day. That's what he did. He went 5-4 down the stretch. He got guys off the street, and he said, Belichick, you're my bitch today in Gillette Stadium. We're shaving your ass right off of history. And he ended the dynasty.
You're ending the dynasty.
That's my kind of coach.
That is going to be his greatest accomplishment. That is going to be his greatest accomplishment.
That's a great accomplishment right there.
It is a great
Brady and Belichick. All right. He beat your boy Brady.
Didn't Tannehill beat Hold on, didn't Tannehill beat the Patriots in the first round? So that means technically Tannehill ended the dynasty.
No, it wasn't Tannehill. It was it wasn't Tannehill that year.
Who beat them? Who beat them in the first round? Baltimore?
You're talking about in the play. I'm talking about in 2019 in game 17.
Yeah, I'm talking about the playoffs in 2019 because the Dolphins were the last game that they played. They went to a playoff game.
Oh yeah, I know that, but they sent them to the wild card round because they weren't that good.
Who was that team that beat them? Who was that team that beat them? I think it was Tennessee.
No, it was Miami that beat them down mentally. That by the time Tennessee got them, they
stop. Give Tannehill his credit. Give Tannehill his credit.
No, I give Derrick Henry credit, not Tannehill.
No, Tannehill ended the Patriots' diet. I think it was Tannehill. I think it was Tennessee because it shocked the world.
It was the Dolphins that ended the dynasty, bro.
Man,
it was the Dolphins. Those bastards wanted the bye week, and the Dolphins denied them the bye week. Flo said, nah.
And then Tannehill ended the dynasty by ending the season prematurely and preventing another Patriots.
I'll look it up, and I bet Derrick Henry had like 250 yards in that game.
It doesn't matter. It was Tannehill, starting quarterback, ending the dynasty. Yes, Derrick Henry probably had 200.
All right, so what'd you do? Are you picking them to win or what? What's going on?
I'm picking them to win. So is everybody else in the Sun Sentinel. So is everybody in the media contingent, which means it's a very dangerous game.
So what you're saying, the field goal kick's going to go off the pole and we're going to lose? Is that what you're saying?
Don't talk. I'm not ready. I can't. I'm not. I'm done. I checked out. Dude, can South Florida handle a bad loss?
No, they don't want. No. The good thing is that Sunday there'll be a big win, so that's all good, and we'll make up for the loss from last night. So we'll be all fine. All right, so you're getting ready for a press conference, correct?
Yeah, man. We should be able to get some. We're going to talk to the new starting center, so we'll make that fun.
Okay, yeah, you ain't going to get any answers from Flo because he ain't going to give you any answers. You know that.
This is my life.
You ain't getting anything from Flo.
He volunteered some information today, but yeah, you're right. It's nothing very positive. All right, man, I gotta get out of here.
Plus, you're not giving him any credit for ending the Patriot dynasty. All right, we'll see you on Sunday. You be good.
All right, talk later.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.